What's good, everybody? It's Mike Reed, and welcome to My Life Ministries, where leadership, influence, faith, and evolvement are the principles that we look to live by every single day of our life. And by us living those principles, it helps us to help youth become motivated young leaders who implement faith in their lives as well. Today, I'm going to be coming from 1 Corinthians 10, verse 13. And what it says is, no temptation, and I'm going to be reading out of the NIV version. But what it says is, no temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. And when I was reading that, God began to put on my heart addictions, and and I begin to think about it, and I want to encourage individuals out there who may be struggling with any type of addictions that are going on in their life. Addictions can be drugs, it can be alcohol, it can be pornography, it can be infidelity, it can be food, it can be, the list can go on and on and on with things that you are addicted to and things that you may be struggling with. And at some point in each and every person's life that you have struggled with some form of addiction. And I know that because I've been there. And addiction is something that is extremely difficult, because you find yourself living a life that is hidden from everybody else, and you're trying to hide what you are addicted to, because you don't want people to view you different, or you don't want people to judge you, or you don't want people to look at you a certain way, especially depending on how deep you are into the addiction. And it's challenging. I know that it's challenging. It's really tough when you're walking around every single day and it seems like you have this dark cloud that hovers over you. And when it hovers over you, it's just like it's a constant downpour of just rain, and you're continuously just soaked in this rain, and you're so heavy with guilt, you're so heavy with fear, you're so heavy with failure, you're so heavy with doubt, and you're so heavy with just not believing in yourself. And what causes, when you're addicted to certain things, it causes you to give up on yourself, and you walk around with that mindset of, nobody loves me, nobody cares about me, what are people thinking of me? And then you begin to fall into that pit, and then you just stay there. So I want to allow people and encourage people on today that, no matter what you are addicted to, no matter what you may be struggling with, no matter what the temptation is, if you know God or know of God, God is here to make a way of escape for you. He's here to make a way of escape for you. If you do not know God, God is still here to make a way of escape for you. All you have to do is just call on him and keep trusting him, and try your hardest to walk in his direction of whatever it is that you hear. But the number one thing that you got to make sure that you don't do is, do not give up on yourself. I don't care what the addiction is, what you're struggling with right now, because see, it puts you in the place to where your life becomes so separate from everybody else, and it becomes so dangerous because you feel like you are alone. You feel like you are alone in this moment. If you're dealing with certain things that cause you that cause things to ruin your marriage, or cause things to ruin your personal life, or cause things to ruin your health, it's real out there. The world is real out there, and it's grabbing hold of you in a way to keep you in bondage so that you can't get out. But know that, like it says in here, when it says, no temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. There's things out there that everybody has faced that deal with some of the same things. But see, there's a lot of people that don't want to talk about it. They don't want to share it because they're afraid to be embarrassed. They're afraid to be looked at different. They're afraid that that they're not going to be able to stop. So they hit the point to where they say, you know what? Why am I going to talk to somebody about my issues? Why am I going to talk to somebody about my problems? Because nobody will ever understand. You'll be surprised how many people have went through the same things that you have went through. But we as men and women of God, or just people just in general, we have to stop being so afraid to share our story and share our story with individuals who may still be struggling with those strong addictions, because those addictions could lead to something that can be extremely traumatic. A lot of times addictions, they can lead to suicide. A lot of times addictions, they can lead to overwhelming depression, or sometimes addictions, they could lead to severe mental health, or they could just lead to homelessness, and we have to begin to look at that and understand that, that addiction, yes, it's here. Addiction is around, but we can't overtake it, and how you go down and it says, and God is faithful. He would not let you be, God is faithful. He would not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. So no matter what it is that you're going through in your life, no matter what the addiction is, no matter what it is that you're facing. And I want people to take the moment right now, whoever is watching this video, to think about some of the things that you are addicted to think about some of the things that you may have been addicted to in the past. And I want you to begin to think about the journey that it took for you to get to where you are right now. And for the moment, for you to understand, man, if it had not been for God, where would I be at this moment? So that same feeling that you have, I want you to think about that same feeling that you have if it was attached to somebody who was dealing with addiction right now. So open up yourself to individuals. And for those who are still are finding that addiction to that is hard, and they're trying to walk down this path and they don't know what to do, call on God, because God is there to make a way of escape, and he's not going to allow you to bear more than you can. So if God is allowing you to go through certain things, it's all for your story. Believe me, it's all for your story. And it may be hard to understand that everything that you're going through is all meant to build your story, but God has a plan for you in that. But God will make a way of escape. So do not allow your addiction to get the best of you. If you're sitting up in here and you're struggling, if it's nicotine, if it's pornography, if it's whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you are struggling with, whatever that addiction is, do not let it win in your life. And I know that that's easier said than done, because you may be deep in your addiction, or it may be minimal to you. It may be just every once in a while. But addictions, I promise you, they will grow over time. So don't ever think that you have it under control, because the moment that something becomes an addiction to you, that means that it already has grabbed hold of you, and it's winning. It's winning in your life. So you got to show it who really is boss. And it's not you that's boss, but it's God. And God will give you the strength to be able to pull yourself out of that, because addiction is real. Temptation is real, but God will always make a way of escape for you. So do not let the temptation win in your life. No matter what it is, do not let the temptation win in your life, because you are victorious in this moment. I don't care if your family has looked upon you and they disowned you. I don't care if people look at you different. No matter what your situation is, and no matter where you are, where you're at right now. I don't care if you're homeless on the street. I don't care if you're walking around here and every day that addiction wins in your life. You got to know that you have purpose. You have to know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you have to know that you are still God's child, no matter what people may think of you. That addiction is real, and people understand that, but you are on the road to recovery, because God is here today to speak to you, to let you know, do not allow your addiction to win. You know what your addiction is personally. I may not know what it is. I know what I've been through in the past. I know what I struggled with in the past, but I also know how God has delivered me. I also know how God has brought me out. And if it had not been for God, who knows where I would be? So if God can do it for me, and if God can do it for others, then God can do it for you as well. So do not allow your addiction to win in your life. Don't let your addiction win. Put it down and trust in God, because God will always make a way of escape. Just put him first in that, and put your addiction on the back burner and never pick it back up. I know that sometimes it may seem like when you take 10 steps forward, you take 20 steps back. Always understand that God is going to walk with you through that. I promise you that he will walk with you through that. So when you're struggling and your addiction is high in your life, all you have to do is just sit back, fight through it, and just say, Lord, I need you. Lord, I need you. Just even practice just by saying the name Jesus. If you don't even know what to say, if you don't know what sentence to say when you're calling out on him, just say the name Jesus and keep repeating it. I promise you, just keep repeating it. Just say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Just keep repeating it, because there's power in the name of Jesus, and demons tremble at that name. So when you keep saying it in the middle of your addiction, you watch how God shows up in your life. He will send every demon, he will send every addiction, he will send every temptation running for their life. So do not let the devil win in that. You're better than your addiction. You're better than your temptation. You are not what you may look like now. You are better than that. You are a child of God. So always remember that. God is with you. You guys stay encouraged. You guys be blessed. And you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.